Hello. I haven't done a just chatting stream in a very, very long time. Um, I've been considering doing some commentary videos on stuff, but honestly, yeah, not, yeah. So I am just going to sit here and see what people want to talk about. Jonathan!
Hey, you look so bored and pathetic. Or just
I
happy
look
to come on.
pathetic? Thanks a lot.
Just bored. Dejected.
Yeah.
Not
No,
pathetic.
I was just reading. I guess I look dejected.
You should have called the stream just reading.
Well,
Now it's just chatting.
the point of the just chatting streams what is that people come on and chat about whatever they want.
Yeah. I watched the Ross Douthat. How do you say his last name?
Doubt
Douthit? Really? Okay, Douthit. All right. I'll have to have a practice session. Douthit. Ross Douthit had an interview with that uh, conservative Christian evangelical influencer chick with the blonde hair, Allie.
Yeah,
What's her name?
Stucky or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw it on YouTube. I haven't watched it.
It was like hot off the presses, so it hit the algorithm for me, and I was like, oh, let's just out of morbid curiosity to see how that would go. Um,
Allie Beth Stucky, that's her name.
yeah,
Allie Beth Stucky. Yeah,
yeah. I thought she
she's
held her own.
she's interesting, but didn't she end up? It was either her or somebody like her. There's a bunch of blonde female right wing commentators, which are all lawyers. Like, there's a lot of them, and one of them ended up getting into trouble over the 2020 elections and trying to help Trump.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about, but I don't want to admit that I know the names of all these people. so, so I'm like not on a first name basis with any of them. Really, it's just it's hard to avoid. You spend enough time on the social medias, and you can't miss it.
Yeah, I didn't watch the movie they made about like blonde Fox hostesses, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but there's a certain I don't know type of female. Uh, Basically, it's like Candace Owens, but they're white and they went to law school, and they seem a lot like Legally Blonde types, although they tend to be very sharp.
Well, that was
Yes.
the law school part, right? If they're law students, legal profession. I mean, you can't be a complete slouch, right?
Well, I don't know. Have you been reading Justice Jackson's opinions?
Last I checked, she wasn't blonde.
She is not blonde. She is definitely not blonde. She is definitely a theater kid, though. Did you see when she went on Broadway and was uh, given a guest spot on some play?
No, no, I didn't. No,
He
like when they have a drummer come up from the crowd and like take over and play a song with the band. Is that what they did?
kind of. Um, Here, I found it. Justice Katanji Brown Jackson, a longtime theater lover, makes her Broadway debut December 16th, 2024. Um, Jackson appeared in a one night only walk on role on Saturday night in the Tony nominated romantic comedy musical and Juliet. Uh, is it Romeo and Juliet or just and Juliet? A modern take on Shakespeare's tragedy that imagines what would be if the female protagonist survived and took control of her own life.
Oh, so it's probably just meant to be Aunt Juliet sick. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, it's.
So she missed her calling, her true
Uh,
calling.
I would be completely fine with Justice Jackson um, uh, retiring from the uh, Supreme Court and becoming a full time actress. Here she is.
Female empowerment.
Wow.
Sick. Welcome to the first day of rehearsal.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna melt.
Female empowerment. Sick. Yeah.
Sick. Um. Yeah. What else? Our old friend Mark D Parker was in the comments of that Ross Douthat interview. I was like, hey, I recognize that comment. You know, I got to read the comments when I get bored. I'm like, well, what's going on in the comments section here? It's relatively new too, so you can like read enough of them. You know, you can kind of get all of it at once. But
I'm guessing he was
not he.
regurgitating the same
Yeah, it wasn't.
CNN talking points he always does.
Yeah, it was not surprising. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
and somebody replied like, "Hey, funny to see you here." So obviously we're all in the same. We're all swimming in the same waters, I guess.
Well, I mean, I think the vast majority of people who listen don't listen on YouTube.
To his column or
Yeah,
his
to the
podcast.
New York Times podcast. I'm guessing. Yeah. I'm guessing it's much bigger. I mean, there's plenty of people who still believe the New York Times represents good amount of information, and that's,
Yeah. I think he's probably on that cusp, though, of having his own following that's completely independent of the publication that he's backed by.
let's hope, because I mean, he hasn't become the court Jew that David Brooks and
No. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
The court Catholic, I guess, in this case.
court, yeah. I mean, what did David Brooks call himself? The chief rabbi of Mecca. Yeah, he compared his job as of being a conservative columnist at the New York Times as being chief rabbi of Mecca. Um, yeah, of the people, of the Jews who converted to Christianity that I am least surprised of, David Brooks was number one.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has this weird thing where he's like, you can call me a Jew, you can call me a Christian, I don't care. And it's like, okay.
I watched one of Emmanuel Shhat.
Shochat?
That's not the.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, really? That's the name. That's
Yeah.
his namesake. Okay.
Yeah.
I watched one of his. Must have been like 80s, 90s.
I got to meet him once. He's my
He
rabbi's uncle.
he's intense.
He is. Yeah. He's Rabbi Wagner's maternal uncle. All of his brothers are are intense and very, very prominent rabbis in Chabad. So Emmanuel Shhat, his eldest brother David Shhat, died recently, just about a year ago, and he was basically like one of the top halachic authorities in Chabad.
Yeah.
And the Rosh, who's the Rosh Yeshiva of Or Elchanan Chabad, which is the yeshiva here in Los Angeles, is may he live long. He's still going, but he's here in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And those three brothers, they were big deals in Chabad. They still are. I mean, David Shochat passed away. Emmanuel Shochat passed away a few years ago, and the Rosh should live long and be well.
Amen. Yeah. So, and I happened to catch live last night Rabbi Malot's Noahide lecture on altars and sacrifices.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. That is a very interesting thing.
Speaking of
Shita.
ritual slaughter, so does a Noahide then can't I not sure that I caught it. Maybe you know. I also have the book in English, but are we on our own to do the slaughter?
So that's a really good question. Um, that is a really good question, and I don't know if it's been formally adjudicated.
Right.
Um,
Now we could, in theory, employ the help of
of a shochat?
yeah.
No, a shochat would not be able to be involved.
Right. Okay.
Be-
It makes sense. Right.
yeah,
And
because we are prohibited from bringing sacrifices these days. You are
but
not.
if I were, how fresh does the slaughter have to be though?
Oh, as a well,
Can I go down to the kosher butcher and pick up a couple sacrificial lambs for my homemade altar in my backyard?
and then do a Holocaust offering.
Yeah, you don't have to say it like that.
Well, a korban ola is
A burnt offering,
a
maybe.
burnt
We all
offering,
know what that means. Yeah,
a
okay.
holy burnt offering.
That's
Yes,
right. All right.
um, a completely burnt offering. Honestly, this stuff is just so out there.
It's very out there. Yeah. Of
It is very out there.
course, I'm tempted.
Rabbi Burton might answer your questions, though. He would probably answer your questions. Yeah,
How many? What was it? Was it in Parshas? Is it Balaam? Balaam? How do you say it in Hebrew?
but Bilam. Yeah,
Bilam. Weren't there like 40 something sacrifices he had going on? Or am I construing
I
two different stories?
I don't remember. I I don't remember.
Yeah. I think he had somebody made a big sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean the person to emulate, the people to emulate, would be Melchizedek
Yeah.
and Jethro, both of whom were righteous Gentile priests. Uh,
Jethro converted though?
that I believe is I believe there are people who say he did, but I believe most people would say no.
Right.
Jethro was Moses' father-in-law, but I don't believe he. I believe the majority opinion is that he did not convert.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could ask Grok. Hey, Grok, what does rabbinic? What do rabbinic sources say about Jethro converting to be part of Israel? Because famously, Jethro is the only like people constantly say Jethro is the only parsha that's named after a Gentile, except
Bilam.
Noah.
Oh,
Well,
and Noach, but Bilam for sure.
Balak, you mean? Yeah,
Balak, sorry.
yeah. There's the what
Is
can call
Bilam
it?
the donkey?
No, Bilam. Balak was the king. Bilam is the
Prophet.
guy with the donkey. Yeah,
The prophet.
is the
The wicked
prophet.
prophet, but it's not. But the parsha's not named after him. It's named after the king.
I believe the name of the parsha is Balak. I'm pretty sure the name of the parsha is Balak. Of course, I'm just bad enough at everything that
Parsha Balak. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Rabbi Google pulled it up with the auto suggestion. So
yeah. Let's see. What was rabbinic sources, including the Talmud Midrash and classic commentators, widely affirm that Jethro, also known as Yitro, Moses' father-in-law and a former Midianite priest, converted to Judaism and became part of the Israelite community.
yeah,
Okay,
how could you not? You're pretty close. You were there.
I guess. Uh,
It's not shocking.
hmm.
Did you patch things up with your Jordan Peters, the Peterson Sphere friends after the whole kerfuffle on Jonathan
uh,
Petru,
um,
or did that just kind of fall away?
I don't know if. I mean, I don't know that anything was unpatched. Unfortunately, it seems like we are headed in two very different ways. I mean,
Yeah.
Benjamin Boyce's latest videos have been um, disappointing to say the least. Um, and like I just thought the um, I just thought the conversation would go in a very different way in different places. At least in this corner, and that was my whole thing with Jonathan Pajot. I was just like I considered, instead of doing a just chatting stream.
Mm-hmm.
So Pajot went on a Persian British guy's here, let me see if I can find it. And I considered Ali Tabrizi 13 days ago.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
He did a 2 hour discussion. I actually emailed Ali Tabrizi and I asked for permission to do a commentary video, even though I don't need permission. I didn't want the trouble of uh, of if he's going to do a copyright strike and me having to say it's fair use, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
Sure. Yeah.
I emailed him and he never responded. Um, I might I might actually do. And so even Lord of Spirits, they've been doing a lot of stuff that, well, they did a 3-part series on the Kingdom of Israel that Yosef,
Oh yeah. Yeah. I watched that.
well, Yosef hasn't done a commentary, uh, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
He was thinking of doing it,
Yeah.
and that's what kept me from doing my own, because Yosef knows a lot more of the facts and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, the entire conversation is in a place that I'm not very happy with. And that was the whole thing with Jonathan Pajot. It's a minor thing. Yeah, you can argue, and people do argue, that early versions of Birkat HaMinim had, like, I'm not going to say that if you're arguing it said Notzrim, you're obviously wrong, although I do think you're wrong. I just don't see why a Christian who was trying to understand what's going on and have any sort of real relationship with Judaism would make that argument when it is so factually weak and it is so counterproductive. Like, my big thing is, the vast majority of Jews who have heard of Toldot Yeshu have heard about Toldot Yeshu from Christians. And my question to Christians is, do you really want to be the biggest proponent of this book? And apparently they do want to be the biggest proponent of that book. It's like, why? Like, why are you trying to turn this into a part of the Jewish canon when nobody in Judaism is trying to turn it into a part of the Jewish canon?
I think it keeps him up at night.
Yeah. Um it that is that well, what keeps them up at night is, why don't the Jews accept Jesus as the Messiah? And the the way they understand it to themselves is, Judaism must be so like ingraining in our children hatred of Jesus and Christianity that explains it. And frankly, like there's way too many people who wish that was the case within Judaism, um, that we were doing that. And to the extent that some people do have that, like Ron Ron talks about how when his parents when he was at a Thanksgiving dinner, like he had been a like into all kinds of drugs. He had sobered up. He was at Thanksgiving, and his family asked him to pray, and he did, and he ended it in Jesus' name. And like it, the way he put it, if looks could kill, the look that his sister gave him would have wiped him out, you know. And yeah, there is definitely bitterness there, especially among Ashkenazi Jews. But um, like that bitterness isn't isn't because it's official Jewish teaching. That bitterness comes from bitter experience living among Christians,
Then,
right?
well, then the question I have for you, Jacob, would be why does that bitterness still exist in a country like America where anti Semitism among Christians is minimal?
Because the vast majority of Jews who've come to the United States have done so in the past 100 years.
It's a longer memory than just one generation.
Yeah, and you have to remember, like the vast majority of Jews in the United States are descendants of people who immigrated after World War One. That's the vast majority of Jews in the United States. Where it's not like we've yes, there have been Jewish communities in the United States for hundreds of years, but that's not who the vast majority of Jews living in the United States are. There are people who came specifically after World War One, and a lot of them after World War Two. Yeah, pogroms in Eastern Europe. Like the majority of American Jews come from are descended from Eastern European stock, and Eastern European stock has a bitter relationship uh, with Christianity, unlike the vast majority of the rest of the world. So, Kirk, how have you been?
Well,
Well, what?
I don't know. Good.
Well.
Positive.
I'm kidding you.
Is this my first stream I've talked to you, Jonathan?
I don't think so, but it has been a while, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't remember you. I mean, I'd mostly come here for Jacob, but it's good to see you.
You're in good company. I don't come here for me either.
My mom has started watching these streams,
Oh
so
no. Okay, so
yeah, watch out.
be good.
Yeah, well, I don't know
I
about
don't.
being
What's
good.
what are the rules for Mrs. Federecci?
um, well, the one comment she had is I too much. So,
Hmm.
which she's right about.
Who doesn't?
Is your mom more agreeable than you are?
My mom is definitely far more agreeable than I am. Yes,
You
yes.
see, Jacob, I think you need a little bit more femininity in your life. But that's just my recommendation.
He's got like, he's got the picture behind him.
The picture of, you mean that one?
Yeah, that one. That's
Mhm.
you're doing your best. Otherwise, it's
It is. Yeah.
lobsters, nerd cards, and the Yanuka, and cat stuff.
Wait, that's the Yanuka on the top?
Yep.
Okay.
I gotta run. Maybe I'll be back. Bye, everyone.
Well, if the Yanuka turns out to be the Messiah, then Jacob Federici has bragging rights. Um, it's I'm just saying what people are saying in the comments.
My mom watches YouTube on the television set, so she's not gonna be seeing the chat, unless, I mean, except for the chat I pull up. Hi, Jacob's mom. Hi, Mrs. Federici.
Hi, Mrs. Federici. This is Jacob's Jacob's young friend who I don't know if you've seen me before. How long has she been watching your streams?
I mean, she's off of on and off watched for a very long time. No, Jacob, it might not be. No, like that's not a thing, Jason.
Well,
Like
there's
that's
somebody named Jacob who might be the Messiah, but not Jacob Federici.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
There's a lot of Jewish Jacobs. It's possible someone will be named Jacob on the other side, but it's not. Well, it's as close to impossible as it gets with you. Um,
yeah,
but so I mean, have you been doing well as well?
yeah. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Yeah.
For some reason, it just feels like recently you've been just kind of distant from the community because like you didn't stream any just chatting streams last week, and like I don't know, have you just been like really busy busy with school?
Uh, that's yeah. I mean, things the my question like has been, what am I going to stream about? And frankly, most of the stuff that I would consider streaming about, I would prefer not to stream about at all.
I mean, the main thing I could think about would be the recent stuff with Trump and Elon and Mecha Hitler Grok thing, if you've seen that. But
Yeah, that's not really the type of stuff. I mean, if I were going to do some political stuff, I guess I could. I'll I'll be honest with you. Part of it for me was when there was the war between um, Iran and Israel. I kind of, sort of, and to some extent it did happen. I expected my channel to become a home base for the discussions of that. And I am very disappointed at the fact that it really hasn't. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the Jordan Peterson sphere, we could call it, but really TLC, um, has it's it's very Protestant, um, and it's um, yeah. I mean, the same thing with Father Eric's streams, like they're they've become detached from the larger TLC, um, and it's like, yeah, that's the TLC is Protestant. It is the TLC is becoming Protestant only.
Well, this community isn't. I mean, it's more of a. I thought it was more of a Pearson Sphere community than a TLC community.
Well, it is, but that's because TLC has failed to be what it used to be, which is um, a place where Catholics, Protestants, and Eastern Orthodox and Jews would and atheists would all talk. Um, Now it's become the TLC has become just Protestant. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about who the current people in TLC are. Is Paul Vanderklay still considered TLC?
well, he's homeroom of TLC. He is TLC. Um, Did you ever watch Father Stephen DeYoung's Pajot speech on eternal recurrence? He seemed to be suggesting we take eternal recurrence literally thoughts. I watched his speech. I think you're talking about the one with Nietzsche. I'm not exactly sure what eternal recurrence means, or what exactly you're talking about it. RJ, can we define what a Peterson sphere community is? Because it basically means people who like both psychology and the Bible.
I don't think it's just people who like psychology in the Bible, because I mean, I think that's part of it, but I think it's also partially the idea specifically of focusing on like meaning cultivation and I would say there's certain specific criteria beyond that, but yeah, definitely.
There's a reason why Father Eric came up with the term Jordan Peterson sphere, and I think it was aptly named because the definition alludes. It's hard to um, it's hard to define, but Jordan Peterson embodies the spirit that, frankly, I think a lot of us want to see more of. Um, I've kind of been disappointed that the Peterson Academy, even their Discord server. I mean, their Discord server. I'm a member of it. It seems pretty dead. Um,
Is it public?
I think so.
Okay,
Um,
because I mean, I know you have to pay to be part of to get Pearson Academy courses, but I don't know about their Discord server.
well, I don't know if it's public or not, but I mean, um, yeah, there were. I'm looking. Uh, since this morning, there has been in general chat. There has been one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 messages total in general
In the
for
Peterson sphere?
no Peterson Academy Discord server
10 messages doesn't sound dead.
for I mean, eh, for a large Discord. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I don't see it actually being much of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, I just think, I mean, Peterson, I don't know how much, of the Discord server reflects his community in general. I mean, most of his content I see is on like YouTube, but like, I mean, I don't know. He just seems like a relatively positive force in the culture, but like, um, I'm pretty sure like the Peterson sphere is not Protestant. Like there is obviously Protestants there, but there's a lot of Jews, Catholics, Orthodox, agnostics, what have you.
Well, depends what you mean by Jordan Peterson sphere. Like, what exactly? How
Well,
are you
I would
defining that?
encompass Peterson's sphere broadly as a community influenced by Peterson and emphasizing the importance of the interrelationship between psychology, self help, and theology, broadly put. Um, that I would say that's probably the roughest definition I could give for a Jordan Peterson sphere off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else is defining it that way. Jason, Father Stephen seems Protestant to me also, though. I think if you are Eastern Orthodox in the United States, in a very real sense, you kind of are Protestant. Um, Frankly, I think if you are truly Eastern Orthodox in the United States, you should be Catholic. Um, but the TLC is becoming explicitly Protestant. It's not just feeling Protestant, it's becoming exclusively Protestant. Um,
Would you say the true is that's the same thing for the Jordan Peterson sphere as you define it?
no, the Jordan Peterson sphere, as I define it, consists of my channel, Mark Lefebvre's channel, and Father Eric's channel.
Okay, so that's two. That's a Jew, a Catholic, and then Mark Lefebvre is what? Some sort of non-denominational, I guess, Protestant.
Mark Lefebvre is Mark Lefebvre. Um, Yeah. Jacob, Jordan Peterson himself does not reflect the effort of you or Father Eric, in my opinion. Well, I mean, yeah, he's not trying to. I mean, he's trying to build a he's trying to build a community, but so far he's failed at doing so in many ways. Um, I don't think he has the skills to actually build community.
And would you say that Jordan Peterson is part of the Lex Fridman sphere or Joe Rogan sphere?
I mean, vaguely. Again, all of these things are very. They're very nebulous and disjoint, and being currently undergoing fragmentation.
Okay, because well, I asked because it basically seems like there was the IDW back in the day, but then that broke up, and now you have basically the modern equivalent of the IDW in the podcast sphere, which is Joe Rogan and Lex Fridman. And you have Jordan Peterson adjacent to that, and then you have us, which is adjacent to Jordan Peterson. If we're just going on like on a chain of like communities from where it originates from.
Yeah, I don't think you have a very good history of um, like this. These communities have been bubbling together for the past 8 years now, um, and so it's a lot more complicated than I think you're perceiving it.
Okay.
RJ, Jordan Peterson himself does that. Yeah, you said I said that. Wow. So I mean, I could turn off the ads. Um, should I turn off the ads?
I mean, if you're not earning ad revenue, or if you don't care about ad revenue, I don't see why
I
not.
I get very little ad revenue, but I my bigger concern is if you turn off the ad revenue. I'm not sure YouTube um, puts puts things up. Um, Jason, you should jump on. Uh,
I think RJ should jump on.
RJ should also jump on. Yes, 10 messages of how many members? I don't know how many members, but like I think Peterson Academy. I mean, I can invite people to it, so it's a public server. Um, definitely in the hundreds um, of members. I mean, nobody's joined the server since June 8th. That's the most recent 433rd member to join on June 8th. Uh, where were we? And let me clarify, don't necessarily as truth, but regarding eternal recurrence, basically re-experiencing events eternally in a never-ending cycle. He seems to suggest heaven is eternally reliving the best moments of our life. Yeah, I mean that's a very Jewish thing. We um, we view history as a spiral where we revisit the same things over and over again. Um, yeah, like my revenue stream, like well, I was just looking at the revenue. Um, I I get like $1 a day, not even $1 a day, not even like barely $1 a day. Maybe sometimes a little bit. I mean, so 365 days. In the past 365 days, I have gotten over $500, which is more than $1 a day. In the last 90 days, I've gotten almost $80, which is a little bit less than $1 a day. In the last 7 days, $2, $1.50. So yeah. Although I haven't been streaming much the last few days. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the ads go away for RJ. Hello, RJ.
I can't see
Is
it.
my mic coming through all right?
Your mic is coming through all right.
All right.
Also, has these in the comments?
Oh, do we?
Wow.
Shalom, shalom. Hezzy should
Hello.
jump on.
I agree.
What time is it in Israel right now? Like 10 o'clock at night.
Dude,
How
I
you
don't
doing,
know. I
RJ?
mean, I've been all right. I've been busy.
Busy's good.
Wrapping up the the bachelor's program, figuring out some details for grad school.
Which grad school are you thinking of going to?
Um, there's a couple. But I'm thinking about marketing and
Master's
yeah.
degree in marketing. Don't bother.
Yes. Hey, gotta do something.
Get a master's degree. I mean, if you're actually going to get a master's degree in marketing, just go for get an MBA.
Yeah, I was considering that as well.
Yeah, I mean, if
This
you
this
are
job market's just crazy right now.
the job market is what the job market is. Um,
Indeed. I got
frankly,
my own projects going on too, so.
frankly, my recommendation to most people is either start a business or get a job because um, thinking that you are going to thinking you are going to get a degree that will get you a job is not
Mhm.
a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately that's kind of become the case.
Yeah. I
And for
mean,
anybody out there, if they need someone or would like someone who has a background in finance and psychology, you know where to reach me. And I am underemployed at the moment, so here
isn't
I
that
am
what GAD
working.
SAT is for?
Gadsad is for being Gadsad, Kirk.
I thought he
Gadsat
worked in
is
marketing.
he is a professor and an interesting guy at that. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, RJ, you could start trying to market Fountain of Comfort and see where you can take it. Yeah,
Why not? Maybe you can talk about that offline.
yeah. Sure. Let me know. Um, yeah, yeah. Have you ever done nonprofit stuff?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we can talk about it offline.
hmm I'm old enough to want to own an original Pokemon hat. So
An original Pokemon hat.
yes, the real Pokemon Ash Ketchum hat.
Okay.
That's okay. Let me put it this way. I'm over 30.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um yeah, his hats have changed over the years. And one like the original one was like this kind of green. I don't even know how to. It's like almost like a cursive Gimel kind of look to it. It's like a green mark, and they've changed it over the years.
Okay. Now I
The
have to
real ones, no.
Pokemon hat. Huh.
You have to type in original.
Okay. So we're looking at Pokemon hats, and there's apparently four of them. A, B, C, and D. But A and D look like they're the same.
Whichever one's got like a green kind of almost triangle to it. That's the original one.
Yeah, that's
I
A.
would say, well, honestly, they're all kind of pretty close, but I'd say if we're starting from the left, A, B, C, C is kind of the most original.
Okay. No, no, no. Hold on. Let me see if we can. Here. A, B, and C. A, B, C, and D. You see them?
Yeah. I guess
D
I
is
guess
just A again.
A and D are kind of pretty similar. They're like these are all kind of knockoff hats to
Yeah.
begin with. Um, but yeah, no, I was just trying to be clever about like saying how old I was. But hey, Pokemon's a fun game.
Very clever of you. Very clever
Thank
of
you,
you.
thank you.
Also, I see Hezi was saying in the chat something about Parshat Pinhas. Is
It
this
is
this week's
Parshat
Parsha?
Pinchas this week. Yes.
This upcoming Shabbat or this Shabbat that's already passed?
Good question. Uh, this coming Shabbat is Pinchas.
Was Pinhas the guy who killed the Moabite woman who was sleeping with the Israelite?
And the Israelite who was sleeping with the Moabite woman.
Yeah, yeah. Is that what the? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what the Parsha is about, if my memory serves me correctly.
Kirk, are you familiar with where Moab is?
No.
Well, if memory serves, Moab is kind of in. Well, at this time, it's kind of like in where modern day Jordan is, but they're kind of connected to the like the Medes in a sense. There were another kind of competing people.
Chezi wants us to talk about Torah.
Well,
Chezi, why
that's
would
why I
We
we
are
don't know
talk
why
talking
about
Hezi
about it.
Torah
doesn't.
on my YouTube channel?
Well,
We
that's
never
also why I
talk
don't know why Hezi doesn't jump on and talk about the Torah himself, unless
because
it's really like
it's
missing.
almost midnight there.
And he
Um,
doesn't want to wake up his family, man.
yeah. Jason says, serious question here. I heard that Mormons believe that if you level up enough in Mormonism, you get to create your own planet. Thus, what is the likelihood that we're living on a Mormon planet? The likelihood is zero. And yes, they do believe that, but um, as I constantly say, you know why God created Mormonism?
To make is it to make Christians feel how Jews feel about Christianity?
Yes, so Christians know how Jews feel, and because Christians don't realize how silly their religion sounds to a Jew until someone, hey, Colonimus, long time no see.
I'd love to talk to Colonimus if my voice wasn't
Colonimus was
cracking.
supposed to Colonimus was supposed to come on, and we were supposed to have a discussion, especially about the Satmar Shita on Zionism, but that never happened. Zimri and Cosby. Zimri was one of the Nesi'im of Shevet Shimon, if I remember correctly.
What's a Nesi'im?
The princes of the tribes. Each tribe had princes. I argue that it's a low percentage because of the existence of Italians. A true Mormon planet would not have created a superior race of beings. I mean, Italian food. I was quite shocked when I recognized that tomatoes
Oh yeah, very relevant. Like, or
only
sorry, recent.
only made their way over to the old world in the last 400 or 500 years. So, like, Italian cooking, I don't even know what Italians ate before tomato.
Also, noodles were not invented by the Italians, or at least
Correct.
not invented first. It's hard to say if they like invented them at the same time or later or whatever, but there's definitely that theory that oh gosh, who's the guy who went and met like the Genghis Khan or whoever and like came back? But like they say that
Marco
he brought
Polo?
noodles. Might be, yeah, Marco Polo. They say like around that time maybe noodles was introduced to Europe.
Colonimus asks about Zimri and Pinchas and Shimon and Levi and Shem. Uh, if I remember correctly, there are commentaries who
I'm actually looking at ChatGPT on the Parsha right now.
what does Rabbi
Uh,
ChatGPT say?
It's just like a bullet summary.
Mm.
Context in the previous Parsha, Parsha Balak, Israelites were seduced into idolatry. Pinchas acts as the grandson of Aaron the Cohen. He's killed Zimri, a leader of the tribe of Shimon, and Cosbi, a Midianite princess, to stop a plague that had broken out as divine punishment. Then it says the next bullet point is divine reward. God praises Pinchas for turning away his wrath and grants him a Brit Shalom, a covenant of peace, and an eternal peacehood for him and his descendants. Then there's some citation from Numbers from some reason. Oh, okay, I get it now. A new consensus of Israelite men is taken, which, if you understand how that works in the Old Testament and why that's important, that happens. And then you get to inheritance laws, it's bringing up for some reason. And then it's connecting it to Moses dying without entering the promised land for some reason. But I get if that's like kind of the if you haven't followed the way, then you don't get to the place kind of theme that runs throughout the Bible. Or sorry, the Old Testament.
The Old Testament?
I'm do Noahidism, man. I'm on the Noahide channel, and what do we even call it? The Tanakh? Like, what am I
the
supposed to
Hebrew
say?
We
Bible.
You're
call
not
it
gonna
the
know what.
Bible. It's the real
Right?
Bible.
No. Well, yeah. Well, the real Bible you should call the Tanakh because it's was still within the 5 books. But like, if I call it that, then no one's gonna know what I'm talking about.
Well, the Hebrew Bible, people would know what they're talking about.
There is no such thing as the Hebrew Bible, Kirk. That's the thing. There's the Tanakh, and then there's commentary, and then there's commentary on the commentary, and then there's a bunch of times that we almost got killed, and then there's us figuring out how to deal with that, and then there's today.
Okay, RJ. Whatever you say.
Jacob, where's the lie?
I tend to talk about the Hebrew Bible, although I probably should talk about the Hebrew and Aramaic Bible because the
That's fair.
Tanakh does have Aramaic in it as well.
Hmm.
But um,
The Masoretic text. That's fair.
the,
Did it show up?
the
Did it show up in the
pre-incarnate logos. Did you guys see the discussion we were having
Nah,
on my
I missed all
Discord
that.
about that?
Nah, I've been busy with closing out the
And I don't
program.
really pay attention to Discord.
Yeah, you don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, Kirk. That's part of
Yes,
the
I
problem.
do. Yes, I do.
So
Kirk pays very close attention to certain things. Broadening the
true,
scope
like
might be very good.
continental philosophy.
Yeah.
Or analytic philosophy.
Um, like I really hate this term proto-Masoretic text. Like, what does that even mean?
It's just acknowledging that there's an idea that people say that there could have been something that was written older, and it's just playing ball. Like you can't quit the game. You got to play ball to a certain extent.
Is
So
that the documentary hypothesis?
I just want to take a quick
no,
question. Take a second and ask Hezi if the how he thought ChatGPT did on the summary of the Parsha. But you guys were saying something.
yeah, proto-Masoretic has very little, if nothing, to do with the documentary hypothesis.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, like there's this idea that the Masoretic text is the text with the vocalizations created by the Masoretes 1,000 years ago, and like any text that's before that is proto-Masoretic, but it's it's BS. Like
It's an academic term, and
it's an academic
it gives people
term.
the wrong impression.
It's an academic term that comes from a belief that the Masoretic text is only 1,000 years old, which is
Yes,
silly.
which is why I was going to bring up, if to your knowledge, if there was any substantial differences between the Dead Sea Scroll set and the Torahs that we use today. And the fact is there isn't.
There isn't even substantial differences between like the Samaritan Torah
I was
and
about
the
to say the
Torah
same
that
thing.
we
I
use.
own a comparative text that I could put on screen right now, and the
Yeah,
only thing that I've ever noticed is they say that God rested on day 6 rather than day 7, more or less.
there are
And we
these
just like to fight
tiny
about stuff
differences
anyway.
that do not even compare in any way to the differences between the various texts of the Greek of the Christian Bible, like the Gospels, like they are so incredibly different in like it's
Greek
just
versus Latin,
frustrating.
yeah.
Well, no. Like just the Greek, right?
Oh,
When
just the
you
Greek,
talk
of
about the
course.
Textus Receptus versus the various other manuscript families of the Gospels, and it's like it's frustrating and tiring to even discuss it. Um, and it's useless. And yeah, I don't know
Unless
if you guys were watching the Bible study today, but we had one of those Black Hebrew idiots on.
No way. I love them.
Well, he was in the comments. I made
They
fun of
don't
him
love
a
me,
little
but I
bit,
love them.
and then And then I just hit him from the channel because I got tired of him.
Oh, was he in the comment section or did he actually come on?
No. He was in the chat. He was in the chat.
Did you ban him or just time him out?
I hid him from the channel so he can write whatever he wants, and only he will see it.
I
Okay.
genuinely would love to sit down and understand where they're coming from rather than like just learning on like TikToks or YouTubes and things like that because I feel like that's unfair.
Well,
I try
No,
to
you
talk to
can't be
I try to
fair.
talk to
No,
people
no,
on the
no, no,
street
no.
and
You
stuff.
can't. You cannot be fair to Black Hebrew Israelites
well,
because it is completely idiotic bullshit.
Jacob, you have to be fair to some degree to everyone, otherwise they're just gonna dig into their own holes.
RJ, have you heard of Lashawan Kadash?
Yes.
How can you be fair to Lashawan Kadash?
I just said I want to hear him out. I didn't say I want to agree with him.
well, there's a
As he
good
said,
video.
the summary was pretty good.
A good
What?
video that talks about Hebrew Israelites on a YouTube channel. It's called Black America. I think it's called like Black America and the Jews by a secular Israeli YouTuber, where it basically talks about Black American anti-Semitism and how
Kirk,
slavery
Kirk,
mythologies around
Kirk,
slavery led to Black Hebrew Israelite mythology. And I'll put that in Discord for you, RJ, if you want to look into it.
Kirk. I have yet to see an English-speaking country or Latin-speaking country that does not believe itself to be the true Israel, and then have groups within it also claim to be the true Israel, even within it.
I mean,
It's like you could talk about the British, you could talk about the BHI, which I just don't feel like bothering people who are going to bother us back for absolutely no reason. You could talk about, as far as the Orient is concerned, like the only people who don't do this, in my experience or to my understanding, is you got to go as far east as so when you hit Hinduism and Buddhism, and at that point you can act. We generally find a lot of agreement. There's a reason why there's a term called Jubus, but that's a different conversation.
I
Well,
think.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it
mean,
comes from Christianity claiming to be the new Israel. Like a lot of this is all based on that theological crime scene called the Book of Hebrews, and uh, this idea of people who claim to be Jews but are not Jews, and certain writings of Paul. It's deeply ingrained in bullshit in the Christian Bible.
yeah, I think that's part of it, but also I think with regards to the African American community in particular, I think the fact that the African American community feels like they don't really have their own identity because of slavery, basically taking away their national identities in history, has led them to try to adopt other identities, and the Black Hebrew Israelites is a manifestation of that.
It's a particularly silly one, but yeah.
Kark, you should study sociology and maybe not.
Should
But
I read
your
Orientalism by
interest, if
Edward
that's your
Said?
interest, that's what I would say.
Should I read Orientalism by Edward Said, RJ?
I have
No.
no idea who that is or what that book contains, so
Really?
hit
You
me
don't
up.
know who that is?
Edward Said?
He was a
Yeah.
Palestinian political theorist, but I heard that he was influential in left wing sociology because basically Said had argued that the Western conception and people like Freud were basically dehumanizing the Orient, and I don't know, but I haven't read him, but I heard he's pretty bad.
He is apparently terrible, and yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as far as Freud goes, it's I mean, he's pretty brushed over these days. I mean, it's mostly
That's
just like he had some thoughts, they were mostly wrong, and here's some people who were more right, and like also group therapy and CBT and a bunch of other things that are actually starting to work is what they try to skip to, and also teach you how to do statistics. So,
Chazi's dad is actually a Freudian, believe it or not.
I mean,
see, I would
Marx.
that'd be cool to talk to his dad. I'd love to get his opinion on that Netflix movie. Did either of you see that? I think it's called Freud's, yeah, it's called Freud's Last Session. It's a apocryphal movie between C.S. Lewis and Freud. It's actually
No.
really good.
I mean, Freud mostly discredited, but I mean, what I find interesting is how Jewish a lot of sociology is. Freud, Marx, Durkheim, Levi Strauss. Are Jews attracted to study of the human sciences?
I mean, you can't. All of academia has been variously dominated by. I mean, not
Not
necessarily
dominated. Like
dominated, but
there's been
like
significant contributions made by a relatively small group of people.
right. And a large part of that is just the fact that for thousands of years, the Jewish community was literate, and the rest of the world generally was not.
And also they pushed us into doing math.
Doing math?
Yeah, extremely complex financial calculations. They had
Um,
they when usury, i.e., um, interest on a loan, was culturally banned in different places, they would still get around it by having, uh, Jacob used the phrase earlier, the court Jew be able to lend money to and from, so that they could, be able to pay for whatever they wanted to pay for at the time. So there's that's where some of the stereotype of Jews being in banking comes from. That and actually jewelry making as well for some reason.
yeah, and weren't Jews also prohibited? So they were. It was Christians were prohibited from usury, and Jews were also prohibited from owning land, to my understanding, which led them not just to finance, but just generally with like trading positions in general, to my understanding.
Yeah, I mean when you can't own other things, you end up owning a lot of what you can't. But
Yep.
it's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
LW
this
says
is a
Marx
well
was removed from
trodden
Judaism for a
Oh,
few
the
territory.
generations.
co-founder of Netflix is a descendant of Freud. That's interesting.
I think LW is right that Marx was removed from Judaism.
Marxism, what?
Cal W said Marx was removed from Judaism for a few generations, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the Marxism is anti-Semitism applied to more widely than just Jews. Marxism really, I mean, it is more. Uh, Marxism is a manifestation of anti-Semitism. Um, like, yeah,
It has a fair utility as being able to point out certain blind spots within certain capitalist like structures, but I don't look to economic models or uh, you know whatever isms to try to guide me one way or the other. I think it's important to be able to talk to both sides.
well,
Marx himself had some pretty interesting letters about where he had some very unpleasant comments about Jewish people. So I'm not going to necessarily disagree with Jacob.
Marx was, yeah, he was. I don't know why we're still discussing Marx, but
Because
apparently,
it's never been tried yet.
exactly.
That's what Marx's claim. I mean, sociology is not a very rigorous science, to my understanding. It's not like physics or chemistry where you have like clear inducted principles. To my understanding, there's more speculation involved.
I mean, I think the Orthodox Punjabi actually brings up an important point that emanation theory was just very popular at the time. Um, and there's that. I'm just saying that's a good point. Are you saying, Kirk?
What is emanation theory? Is that like the emanation of the Sephirot?
No. Um, it's too hard to explain, but it's basically just kind of I could say it's just kind of part of the zeitgeist of the time. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
I
I know
am
Will
not a
Portman's a
fan of
big
the
nerd.
Esoterica channel.
Yeah, I've
Why?
seen
You
some stuff
guys
from
are
the
like two sides of the
Esoterica.
same coin, man. I love both.
Thank
Well, I
you
don't love
for that
either, but you get what I'm
insult,
saying.
but that may be one
What was
of the
that?
most insulting things anyone has ever said to me, but okay.
Ouch. I don't mean it as an insult, man. I'm just saying.
Isn't the guy who runs it? I think it's like what, Justin Sledge or something like that. Isn't he an atheist?
Yeah, his wife is a reform rabbit. He
Yeah,
he he's yeah, not a fan.
Seekers of
Uh,
Unity is better.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by what Cal was saying. So,
yeah,
Hezzy, jump on, man. Like, just talk quietly.
his kids are asleep.
Just want to make sure he's okay.
Oh, and I don't know if you heard this. I think RJ, you were asking what I was saying. I was just saying I don't think sociology is like a really rigorous discipline in the same way that like physics is.
Um, I mean, you can't do that type of rigor in the social sciences. Doesn't mean the social sciences can't be and shouldn't be more rigorous than they are. Um, there's been a real politicization of the social sciences in completely unacceptable ways. See my various discussions with Clara.
Well, yeah, I mean, constructivist theory is essentially taken as writ,
Isn't constructivism
and
like Judith Butler?
I think it goes back to that. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but no, it they point to somebody else in political theory, but it's essentially it's a nominalist like lens that it works that a lot of
Post
people use.
nominalist.
It's a post nominalist lens that a lot of people work with, or at least that shows up in the way that people write in the literature that I have access to. Um, but at the same time, you can't blame a fish for swimming in water.
I'm
Uh,
actually somewhat excited about the fact that uh, they finally defunded Pete BS. Like this Trump administration has
See, I'm gonna
serious
push back on you on this, but keep
why
going.
this Trump administration has seriously started defunding the left wing crazy making political to be uh apolitical means to be a Democrat bullshit that has taken over much of our society. What were you gonna push back on?
Just that the cuts aren't all good. Just like especially with the one example is like the National Park Service.
Um, I don't know about the National Park Service cuts. I do think the Democrats uh, are definitely um, focusing on the National Park Service because they know that that's the one thing that
Everybody likes, yeah.
especially Republicans. The funny thing is the National Park Service, like it's it's like the woke have been talking about how the National Park Service is and it kind of is white privilege because like there's a lot of fund transfers to um, very white communities through the National Park Service.
Hmm.
But yeah, like the Democrats focusing on that is, in my opinion, a lot of the Democrats drinking their own Kool-Aid, because they they seriously believe that racism is how the world runs, and so they will never. I don't think they will, um, in 2028. Well, 2030, I guess. Well, when's the next? No, 2028 is the next presidential election. In 2028, I don't think they will nominate a woman or somebody who's black, because they're convinced that it's racism that kept, at least some of them, that kept Kamala from winning, which is silly because, like, Obama did fine. And frankly, if Obama could run again, he would probably win again. Um, but they don't understand this.
Uh, yeah, I would agree with everything there except for the part about Obama. If he ran again, he would win again. I don't think Obama's that popular among people.
How popular do you have to be to you just have to be more popular than, what's his name,
Trump.
Donald Trump. Yeah,
I don't think Obama's more popular than Trump. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Obama is definitely more popular than Trump. Yeah. Frankly, I think if Michelle Obama had been at the top of the ticket, the Democrats probably would have won. I think that was
2024.
initially the plan.
Wait, so you think if Michelle Obama was the nominee for the Democrats in 2024, she would have won?
I think so. She would have done much better than Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I mean, Kamala Harris. eh, I think the Democrats in 2024. Oh, no, not the way. Yeah, it was that. No, 2024 was the previous election, right?
Yeah,
I don't think any Democrat would have won because of the inflation problems under Biden and other things, and failed withdrawal from Afghanistan. Like, I just think that Biden's reputation soured the Democrats for that election, no matter what.
I think if they had had a normal primary.
Rabbi Malot is looking to join the stream. If he scrolls up all the way to the top, there's a link.
Rabbi Mullet, you are an admin on my StreamYard. You can just go to StreamYard and join the stream.
We all love Rabbi Mullet here, right?
Yes, we
But
all
for
love.
my 2 cents on politics, I
Yes.
am a great enjoyer of the new pipeline that is formed from uh, if you can't teach, if you can't teach, become a politician. If you become a politician, then become a podcaster. And Gavin Newsom is certainly shining the path on the future way that we will organize ourselves will be through podcasts. What say you, Rabbi?
You have to repeat the point because I didn't hear it.
Oh, I was
We
just
were
I was just
talking
making fun of.
person. We that it was complete shtuyot im mitz agvaniot. We can move on to better,
Ken.
more important things. How are you, Rabbi?
Oh, I'm so much better because I get to hang out with my friend Jacob.
uh, oh yeah, it's summer, huh? So you get more. You have more time off.
Summer break, baby.
I didn't know rabbis got summer break.
I'm a
Well,
teacher,
until High
so
Holidays
summer is
hit.
off.
Okay.
Yeah, you teach second grade.
Yo.
I taught third grade briefly, secular studies. Yeah,
At a Jewish school?
yeah, Hasidic school.
Ooh, that's not fun.
Secular studies at a Hasidic school. Yeah, yeah.
I was considering teaching Hebrew to like little kids for a little while, but then I realized A, I can barely read, and B, why re-traumatize myself? Wednesdays and Sundays were so hard to begin with.
Who's talking right now?
This would be RJ.
RJ, just this yid, you know. So you're saying what? I'm just inferring from what you're saying. You attended Hebrew school on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My background is can only be termed conservatox.
Did you say conservatox, as in
Yeah.
like toxic?
No, it started off Orthodox, became conservative, and then on my mom's side, they're all Reform. So it's a little bit everything, a little bit everything.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like a slip of the tongue, the conservatox, but I found it
No,
very funny.
D, like
It's
conservatox.
still very funny with a T.
Conservatox. Yeah.
Well, we all get along at the end of the day, don't we? We're all members of the tribe.
If only that were so. And if that were so, we wouldn't be commemorating the 3 weeks right now.
It is the 3 weeks, Rabbi. It is the 3 weeks.
Wasn't there some fast yesterday? I can't keep
Sunday.
all
Sunday.
of it. Yeah, sorry. Thank you.
Is that Tisha B'Av?
Not yet.
No, Tisha B'Av is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Those are the Tisha B'Av is the last day of the 3 weeks.
Yeah. The 3 weeks. So, Yehuda Israel. Have you seen Yehuda Israel's channel, Rabbi?
Mize Yehuda Yisrael, slicha.
So I keep on calling him a young man, but he's not that much younger than me. He's in his 30s. But so he's BT, and he has been making videos debunking, like going pretty hard against missionaries in ways that like a rabbi couldn't do.
I actually couldn't find his any of his videos on YouTube when you mentioned it
Really?
last time. Yeah, I tried to look into him. I just couldn't find anything.
Um. Well, here I should be able to pull up some of his stuff.
Is
Yehuda.
is is he a whack job?
I mean, from
I'm
what it
just
sounds
very
like,
wary
he
of these
sounds like
people
a redeemed Zoomer type.
Um. So
I don't
that's how
know who
I
it is. I'm
explain
just
him.
saying there are these very kooky people out there in
He's
the.
no, he's not kooky. He's um. I'm very supportive of his videos. In fact, I gave him access to my StreamYard if he wants to stream. Um. And apparently he got an interview with Rabbi Blumenthal only 3 months ago. I haven't watched this yet, but this is his channel.
Oh,
1.6
okay. I see the
thousand
Blumenthal
subscribers.
interview.
Yeah.
Rabbi
Uh,
Blumenthal is very cool.
I am a big fan of Rabbi Blumenthal. Um, he so
Well, the first thing that shows up on his channel is a rebuttal of Dr. Michael Brown. I'm sorry,
yeah,
I just had to add that.
his entire channel is very much like about refuting Michael Brown, and like he does it in a very native online way, and some of the ways he speaks, it's not. I don't think a rabbi should speak the way he speaks. Let's put it that way. But I also think a lot of my content, I say things that I don't think a rabbi should say either.
Is he a rabbi?
He is not a rabbi.
Is
That's
that
that.
that is that what you meant by he can say things that well he can do things in a way that a rabbi couldn't do?
Yeah, yeah. Like for example, he calls a lot of the missionaries brown nosers, referring to Michael Brown.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. I mean, it's he he speaks a little sharp, a little
Well,
disdainfully, a little sarcastically, a bit more than.
Sounds
to
like some
be
sharp
covered of a
edges.
rabbi, you know?
Well, another thing is also I just saw the YouTube channel with the thumbnail, and he has some Zionism breeds anti-Semitism, which looks very Euron Reuven-esque, Yosef Mizrahi-esque clickbait.
Well, it
I
depends on what his. I see that thumbnail, and the Rabbi Yaakov Shapiro's there, and that is Rabbi Yaakov Shapiro's like thesis, is that you know Zionism is terrible, awful, and I know Yaakov, you agree with that philosophy.
I don't. I'm not 100% where Rabbi Shapiro is. At the same time, I thought Yehuda Israel went a little too far and kind of strawmanned him in that video.
Okay, so you're right. It sounds like he's coming to, because he puts a question mark, exclamation point. Sounds like he's coming to rebut Rabbi Shapiro, which
Yeah.
I commend because I'm quite opposed to Rabbi Shapiro. Um, and I happen to know him personally,
Mm.
but I think he's way off.
He seems, yeah. I mean, he's gone to a point where I I think he's gone too far.
Right. That's what I say. He takes it too far.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
he
And
Euron
I've always
Reuven Yosef
disagreed with
Mizrahi
him
too
about
far?
it, but the more public he
Recently
gets,
he's started going a little, yeah.
just very objectionable things that he says.
Yeah, recently, yeah. Um yeah, I don't, I mean, I actually tried to contact him to see if he would want to come on to my channel.
Wouldn't
But
give him the airtime.
wow. Okay.
That's an
Um
endorsement.
I look, he
I just wouldn't platform a person like that. I think he's toxic.
wow. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of stuff he says which I do agree with. I
No, it's that. Listen, there are probably a lot of things that Candace Owens says that I agree with, but she's an extremist. He's an extremist, and his words do more damage than they do good. So I
Well, I
don't.
think there's two things here. There's the issue of extremism, and then there's the issue of being willing to talk to people, and platforming them at all. And I think maybe the way that you deal with extremism is encouraging conversations across whatever aisles it is at a lower temperature. You know,
Again, I hear that. He's vocal. His material's out there. I wouldn't want to give him an outlet to express more of his vitriol. I just and maybe I'm being emotional about it, but it hurts me too much. The very damaging things he says about Jews.
yeah, he's so I've told this story before.
are we
Um
talking about Euron Brook at this point?
mm,
Oh, I was talking about Rabbi Shapiro.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Just I think for a second I got a little confused because we got on Rabbi
And I
Jones.
think you
But
mean
anyway,
Yaron Reuven. If I remember, Yaron Brook is somebody else.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So many.
They're
Anyway,
not
sorry for the
they're not
interruption.
the same, but I object to Yaron Ruvain, about as much.
Well, I mean, Yaron Reuven definitely, they're very different problems, but I've told this
Right.
story
They're different.
before.
They're different bad.
Yeah, they're very different bad. Yeah. Um like, so there was a rabbi in Los Angeles who he was he was very close with the Satmarav, and he was Sephardic, and for that reason, like, that was my home shul here in Los Angeles, was, because that was in my very, very anti-Zionist phase, and he told me to cool it with the anti-Zionism.
Who told you?
The Satmar rabbi.
The Satmar rabbi told you to cool it with anti-Zionism?
Yeah.
Hoo-wee!
Jacob goes hard. Jacob goes hard.
And when he told me to cool it, that's when I realized, okay, I need to cool it.
Yeah, I could have told you that. I think I did tell you that, but coming from me, it's not as impressive
uh, well,
as
you have to realize
Cotton.
this was a good 20 years ago. I was much more hard line. Like,
Oh, wow, you were more hardline then than you are now?
I was fire and brimstone. Yeah.
So,
Um,
so
Who
just speaking of
brainwashed you, Jacob?
influential
Ben
rabbis,
Ben Hecht. I read Perfidy.
I also read Perfidy, and I read River Victor Miller, and they're all very anti-Zionist, I understand, but it's a perspective, and you can talk to people, even in my camp, which is not the Zionist camp, and they'll tell you to disregard what it says in Ben Hecht's book. My Chavrusa, I won't name him, okay? But my Chavrusa, my study partner in yeshiva, was one of the sons-in-law of Rav Henoch Teller. You know who Rav Henoch Teller is?
No.
Okay, Rabbi Chanoch Teller, he's very prominent teacher in Israel. He has a very prolific career. He's in his older years now. He has Bli Ayin Hara 18 children, and they're grown. So my Harusa is married to one of his daughters. And I was also fired up about Ben Hecht and perfidy, and I was talking to my Harusa about it. He told me that he told me his father-in-law researched the perfidy because he's got his sources in the back. This is what the son-in-law told me. He said his father-in-law researched perfidy and said it's not true. So again, that's not coming from Henoch Teller is a Haredi Jew. He's not coming from a Zionist. And he's saying he's a scholar. He did the research, and his perspective is, I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I'm not arbitrating, but I'm saying there are different perspectives. His perspective is it's not true. Rabbi Beryl Wine is also on paper a Haredi rabbi. I understand his hashkafas are probably a lot more open,
So
liberal, and
when
progressive than
I
your
read
average Haredi rabbi.
when I read Perfidy, the first thing I did is I went and I talked to Rabbi One.
Yeah, so tell me.
And I asked him about particular details.
I said to him, I said, "What about perfidy?" He said, "What about it?" He wasn't impressed.
I asked him about particular details, particular things that really bothered me, and I asked him if those details had actually happened, most specifically about Moshe Sharet being in Egypt at the relevant time, and uh, he sighed the way Rabbi uh, Wine does, and I asked him if there were books that he would recommend that would change my mind, and he gave me a couple of books, including Trial in Jerusalem, which the fact is I haven't read even yet. But he also basically said, yeah, the things that bothered me the most specifically about what happened with Kastner, etc., really did happen, and they are what they are. And like you can you can quibble with perfidy and his things, but Kastner is Kastner. It
And by the
happened.
way, perfidy, Hecht is not anti-Zionist. He's
No,
anti-Labor Party.
Hecht was a
He's
big
a
time.
right-wing Zionist.
He
He's
was
against the left wing.
he was very, yeah, and
His
like
point is that the labor government in Israel is the spiritual successor of the Jewish agency that was complicit with the Nazis. So he apostles them, he invalidates them as anyone that should have credence and that anyone should follow. But who does he, but he puts on a pedestal the right-wing Zionist groups. So you can't even conclude from perfidy like Zionism is bad. You can conclude that they were wicked Zionists who did wicked things, like in every group and sector. We don't need to air everybody's dirty laundry, but we could talk. I mean, already we said like two names that we probably shouldn't have said in this conversation, right? We could go down a list of names of Haredi rabbis who are lowlives, probably Hasidic rabbis and uh, Zionish rabbis, Zionist rabbis. We could find lowlives in every camp. I don't think that should be a reflection on the entire group or the entire philosophy. So, okay, even if perfidy is true, which there are those who debate its truthfulness, it's an argument against those people.
You know that Rabbi Wein actually has perfidy on his list of books to read.
I don't know. Haven't seen his list of books to read.
On his website, he has a list of books he recommends, and perfidy. I was surprised, but he, but yeah, we're recommended.
Pardon me, Jacob. I have a phone call.
You are pardoned. So this is Rabbi Wein's recommended reading list, and to my great surprise, he included perfidy right there in Israeli history and society. So, yeah, a powerful indictment of the behavior of Zionist and American Jewish leaders during the Holocaust. I don't know how many of these books I've read. Probably very few. History of the Jews, Paul Johnson. I've heard of it, haven't read it. Behold a People Who Stands Alone. Heard of it, haven't read it. The Secular City. First time I'm hearing it. The True Believer. Thoughts on the Nature of Mass Movements. March of Folly. Heard of it, haven't read it. Distant Mirror. Haven't read it. The Guns of August, a lot of people talk about, and I should probably read it, but haven't. War Against the Jews, heard of it, haven't read it. The Pity of It All. This is, I mean, I've read this list before, but I'm not even remembering it. The Holocaust, A History of Jews of Europe by Sir Martin Gilbert, haven't read it. Hitler's Willing Executioners, heard of it, haven't read it. Doctors Under Hitler, Do Not Raise Your Hand Against the Boy. I think I've actually heard Rabbi Lau talk about that story, that famous story, but I haven't read that book. Day of Battle by Rick Middleton. One by One by One by Judith Miller. The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, very famous. Also haven't read it. Adolf Hitler by John Toland. 1,200-page biography. Okay. Members of the Tribe. Haven't read it. Perfidy, definitely read it. War of Atonement, haven't read it. What Went Wrong. Bernard Lewis. I've heard Bernard Lewis talk about this situation a lot, but haven't read the book. The Siege, the Saga of Israel and Zionism. I've read like none of these books. Our Crowd, The Great Jewish Families of New York. Two Jewish Justices, Outcasts in the Promised Land. I'm surprised I haven't read that yet. An Empire of Their Own. I've heard people discussing this book. Haven't read it. Closing of the American Mind. Wow. I'm surprised he has this on on there. I mean, I've certainly heard of it, haven't read it. Um, this book, I mean, this list must be pretty recently updated. I don't know when he updated this. I guess 1987. So it's not that thing. The Gulag History by Anne Applebaum. Not a huge fan of hers. Um, have I read any of these books other than Perfidy?
Is this the list you recommended to me when you temporarily said that I shouldn't come on stream?
It may be, yeah. What's Bothering Rashi? I've read. Um, Disputation at Barcelona. I read the original in the Hebrew, not the translation.
The disputation actually has a reenactment from the BBC.
On YouTube, yeah. It's not
Yeah,
bad. It's actually
it's not
not
bad.
bad.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty faithful to apparently the actual source material.
I'm surprised there's no they don't have Jonathan Sacks writings on the relationship between science and religion.
Um, I don't know if Rabbi Wine was that much of a Sachs fan. A Brief History of Time I read when I was in high school. Um, The Denial of Death by Ernst Becker. Huh. I should probably pick that up. Essential Galbraith. I think I read that when I was in high school. Um, yeah, I've read so few of these books,
Um,
but it's definitely. It's from 2013. Um, I mean, I'm a big fan of Rabbi Wine.
well, the only thing I mean, this makes sense, but the only thing I'm confused about is if it's he's a Jewish history person, why were there so many non-Jewish or non-religious Jewish authors and non-Jewish subjects I saw?
Because a person who's widely read in Judaism should read widely.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think it's good to read widely. I just didn't know that was the Orthodox Jewish position.
It is definitely Rabbi Wine's position. Rabbi
So
Wine, yeah,
before I head out, and thank you for having me, by the way.
my pleasure.
One question on my mind. Um, Rabbi Sachs, Oliver Shalom, was kind of the face of the Jewish community in some ways for a very long time. Obviously, there's Rabbi Wolpe out there. Um, but I'm wondering kind of who you see as, you know, good representations of I know the Yanuka, but other amongst the Americans. Um, if you have any on mind or not.
Generally, I would say any of the rabbis that um, appear on Chabad.org would are generally very good. I am as far as on YouTube, Rabbi Bradowitz, Rabbi Skobach are two of the people think I have never watched a video of theirs where I have felt uh, like I wouldn't even recommend, right? Much less find it faulty in such a way that I would be like, ugh, you know? Um, Unfortunately, I can't say that about some of the more famous YouTube rabbis. I really like YY Jacobson, but he's too Yiddish for most people to be able to understand what he's saying. Um, there's there's a problem of how um, deeply somebody is talking to a Jewish audience and how widely what they say can be understood outside of a Jewish audience.
Mm-hmm. The contextual issue for sure.
Yeah, and so it really depends, and there are very few. I don't know. Chezi says Rabbi Shirky, but Rabbi Shirky doesn't speak English very well. Even when he speaks English, it's not, and he doesn't. I mean, he's not. Um, Colonmus says, I'm going to have to go with Rabbi Asher Weiss, but he's not really accessible. He's not accessible at all to a non Jewish audience. I mean, I was listening to him. I went and looked up his videos, and he was talking about eating strawberries, you know, like, which is understandable in the Haredi community that he says we eat strawberries, right? Um, Mazel tov. I mean, like, it's an important thing for someone of his
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stature to say. Um, so the problem with strawberries is that strawberries very often in the United States have bugs in them, which is a serious kashrut problem. So there are many people who are very strict not to eat strawberries. And he specifically said, no, I eat strawberries, right? I buy nice strawberries and we check them and we eat them. And I think that's an important thing for a rabbi like him to say. But um, at the same time, that's not an accept like a thing that like people can understand. Like, vast majority of Christians, they look up a rabbi and he's talking about whether or not he eats strawberries and which strawberries he eats, and it's like, how are they going to put two and two together? Rabbi Dvoek, I don't know Rabbi Dweck. Which Rabbi Dweck?
I mean, there's Rabbi Tovia Singer, but he really only does kind of missionary stuff, to my understanding.
Rabbi Joseph Dweck, you're saying? He only has 1,000 subscribers on whatchamacallit.
Is he accessible, Rabbi Dweck?
I'm guessing, yeah. I mean, he looks very. I mean, he's Sephardi, and it looks good. I mean, I don't know much about him. The the problem is, like, the heavy hitters. I would call YY Jacobson a heavy hitter. A heavy hitter who tries very hard to speak to every audience, but it's just very Yiddish. Like, it's so steeped. Oh, there's the discussion between Rabbi Soloveitchik and Rabbi Dweck from a couple of years ago. This is, I mean, this is actually a video which very God and the Chosen People. I've clipped it. I recommend it. It's it's probably a good thing to put on your reading list. I mean, your watch list. Um,
This is Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik?
no, this is. Uh, I mean, Rabbi Meir Soloveitchik is Rabbi Joseph J.B. Soloveitchik's grandnephew. Yeah, I think he's a grandnephew of the Rav.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It looks good. I mean, the other well-known YouTube rabbi I know of is Rabbi Manis Friedman, but I don't know how accurately he represents Kabbalistic concepts to a non-Jewish audience.
Rabbi Rabbi Friedman is a very popular rabbi lecturing to women in Chabad.
And do you think he's a good rabbi for non-Jews to watch?
Better than most of the things that are available. I don't know that he describes things. I mean, as long as you recognize that he's trying to get ideas across that are difficult, and um, you don't do the weird thing some people do of taking what he says and running with it in all kinds of manners. Like, somebody as ignorant as Yaron Ruvain should never listen to somebody like Rabbi Manis Friedman, because, like, when you're that ignorant, um, like, a little bit of knowledge is incredibly dangerous. And yeah, it's you can, but I mean, Yaron Reuven attacked Rabbi Sachs uh, horribly, in ways that are completely out of anything a normal human being should or could or did do. Later, RJ.
Later,
Um,
RJ.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, Yaron Reuven and Yosef Mizrahi are going to do what they're going to do, and non-Jews are going to watch them, and that's the problem. But what can we do about it other than give our perspective? I just think with Rabbi Friedman, from the content I've seen, he mostly does a very Rabbi Saxian like way of presenting Judaism, where he tries to tie in Judaism to like self-help and like psychological concepts from the videos I've seen, and so which is good. It's just I don't know how much of that sort of feel good self help stuff is going to water down the concepts to a non Jewish audience.
Rabbi Manis Friedman tries very hard to communicate Jewish concepts to people who don't have a deep grounding in Judaism. He does a better job than I ever could. Um, he, I so like this is not in any way meant to be a criticism, but at the same time, like, he's not Rabbi Breitowitz. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Um, I haven't seen much Rabbi Berowitz. If my memory serves me correctly, he does stuff on Or Sameach. But I don't know how much content he does for Noahides that are directed towards Noahides.
Specifically directed towards Noahides, I mean, he does more. He's more aware than most rabbis of his caliber. Um, Obviously, I mean, a lot of the stuff from, but his Parsha Shir, which he does on that Hidabrut channel, it's 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 perfectly it's it's perfectly suitable for Noahides.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I've seen the YouTube channel Hit, but I don't know much about their content. To my understanding,
That's
they're already a YouTube channel.
Yon God. By the way, Yon God, you should jump on one of these days. It's been a while since we've talked, but that is a midrash that is brought in the Sidur Vitri, and Rabbeinu Tam actually verified that he believed was true, and because of that, this is a while you certainly don't have to believe that it's true. Someone who does believe that midrash, I actually sent a copy of it to Father Stephen a while ago. But yeah, so Rabbi Breitowitz is not saying anything very shocking. Let's put it that way. Certainly, lots of people don't believe that midrash, but that midrash exists, and it is a midrash that Rabbeinu Tam thought was a true midrash, reflecting historical fact. And when Rabbeinu Tam says that, there's nobody who can completely dismiss the idea in Orthodox Judaism today,
Yeah.
because
You said this was the
Rabbeinu Tam is
Siddur?
Rabbeinu Tam. What?
You said this was the Siddur. Was this the Siddur Vitri?
So the Sidur Vitri was a is a it's a source in that's considered one of the Rishonim, one of the early commentators from about like 1,000 years ago. Machzor Vitri, sorry, not Sidor Vitri, Machzor Vitri. Yeah. Um, yeah, and that's how you spell it, and you can look it up. But so apparently, the Machzor Vitri talks about um, that midrash about Nishmat Kol Chai, and apparently Rabbeinu Tam also agreed that Nishmat Kol Chai was composed by, um, let's say, one of the early popes. That's whether it was Peter or Paul or somebody like that. Um, Shimon Kephas, possibly, but
Yeah, I saw on Jews for Judaism. I don't know if it's Rabbi Skobach giving this lecture, but someone in Jews for Judaism was talking about Paul writing Nishmat Kol Hai. So I was a little bit confused about that because I know it's big in Jewish literature to my understanding, or pretty universally accepted.
Nishmat Kol Chai definitely is. Um, Whether Nishmat Kol Chai was written by, I mean, the Midrash itself, I mean, it talks about Shimon Kephas, and Shimon Kephas would be Peter, not Paul. But it also kind of sounds like it's describing Paul. And so it's it's not clear. But yeah, who exactly wrote Nishmat Kol Chai? What exactly the history there is? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. The main thing that was confusing to me was I didn't know that something written by a Christian would be accepted into like Jewish literature, like as universally as Nishmat Kol Hai is accepted.
Well, I mean, the if you go here, let's pull up the midrash. I've pulled this midrash off before. Let's pull up the midrash. Um, Anybody remember how to find that midrash kephas? How do you spell kephas? Kephas. I guess I could look up Nishmat Kol Chai.
Oh, when you go in the Machzor Vitri,
Um. Oh, I guess I could look in the Machzor Ritri. Um. I think the yeah. I think the Machzor Vitri is here. Uh, let's see. Machzor Vitri. Um. Where would it be? Laws of Shabbat. Let's see if I can find Nishmat Kol Chai. Uh, why did it look up no Oxford? Nishmat Kol Chai Tavarech Et Shimcha. Okay, Nishmat Kol Chai. Um, hmm, let me see if I can find where I sent Father Stephen that thing. Well, here's the article from Kotz's blog. Um, by Rabbi Dr. Gavin Michal. I don't know him, but did St. Peter compose the Nishmat prayer? Authorship. There's the view of Rashi's grandson, Rabbeinu Tam, that the author of Nishmat could have been Shimon Kippah, otherwise known as Saint Peter.
Um, yeah.
Where is Machzor Vitri? Um, so 14. It doesn't say where in Machzor Vitri. A play on Shemot 13. It doesn't give citations to where he gets his stuff. Um,
How did we get into this again?
Jan got asked about it.
When was the Master Victory composed again?
About 1,000 years ago. Yeah, about almost 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
I thought I had looked up the midrash it was in. Uh, let's see if Grok can find it. Here is. Uh, let's see if Grok can find it. Uh, the assumption is that he wasn't a Christian, but rather that he wanted to make clear separation between Christianity and Judaism. Safaria has lots of Sidurim, but not one with a commentary. No. Um, oh, actually, I guess if we go into liturgy and Shabbat, uh, Nishmat Kol Chai. Yeah, it doesn't link to anything but Tanakh. I don't even know what it's connecting to with Tanakh. So, yeah. Gavin is a good name. What does Gavin mean?
Is it a Jewish name?
Gavin is not a Jewish name. It is of Celtic origin, means white hawk or hawk of the plain.
Aren't a lot of men's names and women's names of biblical origin? Even though non-Jews?
Yes, a lot are. Many, many, many are.
Why are so many Jewish names for like most people, for like just the general people?
Say that again?
Why do so many people have Jewish names?
Because they're biblical names?
I see. So because of Christianity.
Like Maimonides says in chapter 11 of Laws of Kings and Wars. That's why Christianity exists.
And yeah, and does he also say that about Islam?
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, for whatever flaws it has, it's got that going for it.
All things that God has created, he has created for the good.
And so I'm just catching up on the comments. So let's just cite the oh that's my I think MV's Mux or victory. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else you want to say?
That's why I had a just chatting stream.
Could I derail?
Sure.
What is your opinion on the marvelous Miss Maisel?
Um. Oh, I actually watched a few episodes of that.
Yeah, I heard Sarah Silverman complaining because the actress who plays it is not Jewish, she's Irish, but I would imagine you would disagree with that.
Sarah Silverman has lost her mind.
Yeah, I mean most Jews that I know are fine with it, but yeah. Um, have you uh, how many more weeks did you say you have of school or months?
Um. Depends what you mean, but um.
Well, how many more weeks until you get your degree?
My anticipated date of graduation is May 2026.
Okay. What is that like? What? How many months? Is that like 6 months?
It's like 9 months, 10 months.
Okay. So, but then after that, then you say you also have to work as someone. Then you say you have to work for a certain amount of time before you can become accredited.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so I'm hopefully not gonna have classes anymore starting in September, or November, and then I'm just gonna have lots of work to do.
I see. And what was the Didn't you say you wanted to do something with was it couples?
Um, Not necessarily.
Okay, because I forgot what you said you wanted to specialize in.
Dual diagnosis.
Dual diagnosis. Um, I don't know what dual diagnosis is.
Dual diagnosis means someone who is diagnosed both with a mental health disorder and a substance abuse disorder. So,
Okay, so yeah,
somebody, for example, who's alcoholic and schizophrenic.
yeah, yeah. Well, sounds like especially that's going to be a lot of work.
People who are dual diagnosis definitely require a lot more work than people who are in single diagnosis. That's part of the reason, unfortunately, there is not. That's part of the reason that unfortunately there's not enough people who are um, what you call it, treating dual diagnosis clients.
Yeah. Well, when you start, so you said it's September is when you'll start working and you'll finish classes.
Yeah, that should be
Okay.
November, maybe September. No, October or November. October or November. Yeah.
Okay. And when you start working, will you be the assistant of someone else, or will you just be working on your own?
No, no, no. I have thousands of hours I have to do before I can work on my own.
Okay. And who are you going to work for?
Good question. I have an interview tomorrow morning, actually.
Well, I hope all the best for you. But
Thank you.
I would imagine by the time you start working, the streams will be much fewer.
Maybe.
Okay.
We will see.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you stop streaming, I would understand because obviously your personal you talk a lot about touching grass and stuff, but like I like this community for what it's worth. I like having an Orthodox Jewish friend of mine who can teach me all about Hashem and all these things.
I don't know if I can teach you all about Hashem, but I can answer some questions at least.
And so do you so when you're doing dual substance diagnosis, so basically are you going to help people like recover from addiction?
Hopefully.
Okay. Because I know like there's Alcoholics Anonymous, but I don't know if they specifically specialize in that.
Alcoholics Anonymous is one of the ways that people deal with being alcoholics, but it's only one of the ways, and no, they don't specifically talk about a dual diagnosis. Uh,
Okay. Because, well, I don't know if Alcoholics Anonymous could deal with dual diagnosis patients very well if they require extra attention, because, to my understanding, they spread out the attention to a wide range of clients. If, or is that a misunderstanding?
um, I mean, depends. A lot of clinics, well, part of the problem is that almost nobody deals with dual diagnosis clients. There is not enough dual diagnosis people who are willing to treat people who have a dual diagnosis. Okay, so I found in the Mahzor Vitri, thanks to Stack Exchange and Echad Miyodea. So Laza Pesach 66, Birkat Hashir, V'chotem benishmat kol chai. So you finish Pesukei de Zimra on holidays with Nishmat kol chai, and also the second Koshel bracha you finish with Nishmat kol chai. The Nishmat kol chai he Birkat Hashir. He says because that's the blessing on songs. Sheshaninu be'erev Pesachim, like ba'arvei Pesachim, like it teaches in the Talmud Pesachim. V'yesha omrim al oto, I guess, naval. Um, there are those who say about that disgusting person, Shimon Peter Chamor, Simeon, the son of a jackass, Shehi ta'ut shel Roma, that it is mistake of the Romans. Shehi ta'ut shel Roma or Dome Yesado. Um, I'm not sure exactly what he's saying. Im oto tefila, ota tefila. V'sha'ar tefilot k'shehaya al hasela, and with other prayers regarding al hasela. I don't know what that means. V'chas v'shalom shelo tihiyeh zot beyeshara. It says, God forbid this can't be true. Lechol ha'umot diber v'chol ha'omer devar zeh. Lots of people say this because Yibaneh Beit Hamikdash, if you chatat, all of the people who say such things when the temple is rebuilt will have to bring a sin offering. Uh, Achar Birkat Hashir Mevarach Birkat Yain V'Shote. And after he finishes with Alagula, he says al hagefen. This is the Ashkenaz minhag, to say, at least some Ashkenazim say Bor Pri Gefen a second time on the second coast on the Seder. Ubemotzei Shabbat Mevarech. Um, okay, so if it's Motzei Shabbat, that's when he makes Yain Kiddush Ner Havdalah Zman, right? When he makes Havdalah, Chotem Bein Kiddushat Shabbat LeKiddushat Yom Tov, Havdalta Ve'et Yom Shvi'i Misheshet Yemei HaMaseh Kiddashta, Havdalta Ve'Kiddashta Et Amecha Yisrael Bekiddushatecha, Baruch Atah Hashem Hamavdil Ben Kodesh La Kodesh. Okay, so the Machzor Vitri brings this, but he says that anyone who says such a thing should bring a whatchamacallit. So there we go. That's
Bring a what?
the Machzor Vitri. What?
You said he should bring something.
Should bring a sin offering when the temple is rebuilt. We'll have to bring a sin offering for having said such a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Uh, he very interesting. That's the first time I've looked it up.
I thought he was endorsing the position that Peter wrote. Recently
No,
down.
no, he is
Okay.
definitely not endorsing that position. In fact, he is very much opposed to anybody even saying such a thing, um, and he believes it is a mistake. But
Okay.
yeah,
Um. Also, so when it comes to yeah, so I didn't know you would ever have to bring like a Corbin note offering for an opinion like that because like to my understanding.
it's a joke. He yeah. Don't take it literally.
Okay.
He's saying that these people mean well, but they're wrong. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Well, on an unrelated note, um, so earlier today you said you weren't a fan of esoterica.
I am not a fan of esoterica.
Um, would you say Seekers of Unity is you are a fan of?
Um, I mean, when Zevi was in Los Angeles, I invited him over to my place, and I wanted to do a stream with him. And he's a good friend of Chazi's, and he seems like a very nice guy. I am a little concerned about certain views he has, which are a little bit beyond perennialist, in my opinion. He seems to be a bit of a perennialist and maybe even a sort of universalist, which I am very much opposed to. So,
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, Seekers of Unity seems better than esoterica, right?
very much so, yes.
Okay.
Very, 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 very much so, yes.
Yeah.
Um, Zevi, I mean, obviously knows a lot more about a lot of things than I do. He seems like a much better person than I ever was. Uh, at the same time, um, I don't believe that he's necessarily in all manners representing Orthodox Judaism according to halacha.
Okay.
Not that
Um,
I, in every way, like, who am I to criticize somebody else? But yeah,
and yet you criticize Zionists all the time.
I criticize all kinds of things, but to criticize an individual human being who's a better human being than I am, I try not to do that very often.
Well, I don't think you should criticize Hezi then, because Hezi is more
Hezi
than
is definitely a better human being than I am. There's no question about that.
okay. Fine. Then we don't always need to scream heresy whenever he's in the comments.
Hezi, Hezi understands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Also, for this Parsha, so we have Parshat Pinchas upcoming. The previous Parsha was Parshat
Balok.
Balak.
Yeah.
Isn't that sometimes a double portion of Hukat Balak?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I think I remember one time hearing it like as Hukat Balak. I don't remember what Balak is about. If my memory serves correctly, Hukat is about statutes.
Hukat is mostly about the paraduma.
Okay, I thought Hukat meant translated to statutes.
It does, and the most distant and incomprehensible statute is the red heifer.
Yeah, if my memory serves me correctly, the red heifer is that the one you're supposed to sacrifice to in order to be purified?
Well, I mean, it's a communal offering. It's not an individual offering, and the ashes are used to purify people so that they can come to the temple. But yeah, it's
Yeah, I think I heard some. If my memory serves me correctly, I think I saw some religious Zionist rabbis on YouTube saying that they found red heifer in Texas or something like that. But I don't know.
no. This is mostly a thing that's this is mostly a thing that dispensationalists Christians talk a lot about the
Is
red
that
heifer.
Christian Zionist?
Yeah,
Okay.
they talk a lot about the red heifer. Way too much about the red heifer and not enough about the Torah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do Christian Zionists come around to the Federaci sphere, so to speak?
Some of them do.
Because the only one, because I know you get Christians, but like I don't know if David's a Christian Zionist. I know Father Stephen's not. I don't know about Gavin.
uh I mean, those people more have channels more to their liking to to yeah. um my little corner is very different from that, so yeah.
Yeah. Um, and is there a reason? Is there a reason you don't seem to hop on the Bible streams anymore?
um I mean, I sometimes do, but I generally don't go on the stream partially to let David have his thing and like not to interrupt and not to over power the discussion with my presence. I mean, there's a reason I have him on my channel. Like, if I wanted to do the Bible study myself, I would do the Bible study myself. The Bible study David does is supposed to be David's Bible study.
Fair enough. I mean, you could, do what I sometimes do, which is just listen and have your mic turned off.
I could, but I mean, I often listen to it, but I don't have to jump on the stream to listen to it.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. I think I may have seen you in the comments today. I was watching
Yeah,
the end of it. Yeah, and that was
yeah. I
and today was
comment.
about Samuel.
I comment in the chats when I want to. So yeah.
Yeah, and okay. Um, I'm just saying what's saying. 38 minutes back. I've never once seen a bug in my strawberries. Is Don McD an Orthodox Jew?
She is not, but I will say that if you check your strawberries, if you check your strawberries the way Orthodox Jews check their strawberries for bugs, I would be very surprised if you don't find at least one bug in in most. I mean, every bunch probably not, but like Yeah, finding bugs in strawberries is very, very common. And frankly, nowadays, most Orthodox Jews just don't eat raspberries anymore. Um, just too many bugs. Which
Wait,
I
they don't eat
going
strawberries or
too far.
raspberries?
What?
They don't eat raspberries or strawberries.
They don't eat raspberries. So the Rabbi Weiss, was talking about the fact that he does eat strawberries.
Okay.
Many people don't eat raspberries. Too many bugs.
Okay. Well, strawberries and raspberries are not the same thing. Does he eat raspberries?
No,
Okay,
like
so
that's the point.
nobody eats raspberries.
I wouldn't say nobody eats raspberries. A lot of people don't eat raspberries because they're afraid of the bugs. And he mentioned that at their home they do eat strawberries.
Okay. So he's stricter with raspberries than strawberries, presumably because there's more of a bug infestation problem with raspberries.
Correct.
Do you eat well, actually you don't keep kosher, so never mind. That's another thing you can do to be a better human being. And
Stop
uh,
eating raspberries.
well, keep at least not eating meat and dairy is a good start, and we can talk about that down the line.
Very interesting.
Um,
I'll think about it.
Also, I don't know. I may have told you about him before, but recently a YouTuber named What If Althist did a video on Jewish history, and I wanted to know if you've seen it, and if so, what was your perspective on it?
I have not seen the video. I mean, you can put a link on the Discord and ask if people have seen it.
Okay. If I post it in the link section on Discord, do you think you could get around to it?
Possibly, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
See,
Yeah, because he was saying about how and he's not Jewish at all. He's just a history YouTuber, but it was somewhat interesting. Um, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't seem. He said some things which about like Jews and neurosis and leftism, which kind of made me raise an eyebrow or two. But like he was not anti-Semitic.
I don't know.
Um, yeah. Do you think that most videos by non-Jews which talk about Jewish history are not accurate?
Not any more so than videos by Jews. I mean, a lot of Jews have very inaccurate views of history. You have to, you have to like. I mean, it goes back to the thing with Rabbi Wine. Like he he recommended a bunch of books. It wasn't because they were by Jews or not by Jews. It was because they were good books or not good books.
Okay. So yeah, but I was specifically asking not about books, but specifically because in my experience on YouTube, there's a lot of misrepresentation of Judaism that goes around.
Yes, and a lot of that is done by Jews.
Okay, but I was basically gonna ask, is it more done by non-Jews?
I have not seen there being much of a difference.
Okay,
I
yeah,
I am not aware that there's a difference there.
yeah. I mean, also is a YouTube channel Aish a good source?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Aish. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. It's a I think it translates to, if my memory is correct, means
Aish?
yeah,
Aisha Torah?
yeah.
Yeah, Aisha Torah is one of the most prominent yeshivas in the world.
Well, they also have a YouTube channel, Aish, not Hator, just Aish.
Yeah, Aish, yeah, as in Aish.org as well. Yeah, like
Okay,
this
so
is
that's
one of the
that's
most
good.
prominent Jewish websites in the world.
Okay, so so it's basically like Chabad.
It's very much like Or Sameach. In fact, Rabbi Weinberg left Or Sameach to start Aish.
Okay, so yeah, it's reputable. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Asia
Yeah.
Torah is like their yeshiva is straight across from the hotel. I've been there several times. I have friends who like, and there's an Aish here in Los Angeles, which I was at on Shavuot.
Yeah. Um. The and so is it a Haredi yeshiva?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So then it should be reputable. I just asked because I've seen when I look up Jewish content on YouTube, obviously I get Chabad and sometimes I get Or Sameach and sometimes I get Jews for Judaism, but I also sometimes have seen Aish. But yeah, it seems
Aish.
good.
It's
Aish.
Aish.
Aish. Okay. Um. And you said you went there on Shavuot.
Yeah,
Okay. Wait, was this previous Shavuot?
yeah. This past Shavuot, a few months ago.
Yeah. Uh, I think I've been to a Shavuot service once, and to my memory, it was like they were staying up all night and like having presentations about various Torah related subjects.
Yeah,
Um,
so it's very common to go shul hopping, synagogue hopping, and me and a few people did that on Shavuot, and one of the places we went to was Aish here in Los Angeles.
okay. Yeah, and do you stay up like all night studying Torah?
I didn't, but that's like my allergies started killing me, and my stomach wasn't feeling well, so I wasn't feeling well, so I went home. But yeah, yeah, that was the plan.
Yeah. And if my memory serves me correctly, don't they recite a tikkun on Shavuot?
Some people recite Tikkun on Shavuot. I actually did that sometimes because Sephardim and Chabad recite Tikkun. It's a practice of the Arizal to recite Tikkun. Litvaks don't, and um, for people that like Tikkun becomes too boring and they would fall asleep, or they, oftentimes people will have classes or whatever, speeches. Yeah,
Yeah, classes on like Torah related subjects.
yeah.
Um, do you so d- I know you to my understanding you don't really go to shul very often on Shabbat, but what is the shul you don't go to on Shabbat?
Chabad.
Chabad, okay. In my experience, I don't know as much about Chabad because I've been to Chabad quite a bit, but in my experience, there's a big difference between some rabbis. We have some rabbis who talk a lot about like current events and issues that are not strictly Torah related, and then some rabbis who just focus on like the Torah portion and are otherwise quiet.
There's a lot of variation between Chabads. I actually um, m- very often end up going to Persian Chabad. So there are Sephardic Chabad synagogues. There are all kinds of Chabad synagogues. So,
And is the one that you don't go to one that talks about current events a lot?
I mean, I I generally go to Chabad at USC, which is, I mean, Rabbi Wagner will talk about current events when he feels it's necessary to talk about current events.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah, I just asked because in my experience, in all sorts of whether it's Orthodox, Reform, or Conservative, you do see often the younger rabbis are more likely to talk about things that are like, current events, like issues related
It
to technology.
really depends what kind of Chabad you go to. I mean, if you go to Congregation Levi Yitzchak, which is like, there's no there's no speech. The rabbi doesn't give a speech. There's no rabbi giving a speech. Um, like Beis Betzalel, same thing. There's no rabbi giving a speech. If you go to Chabad of Tarzana, for example, yeah, the rabbi is going to give a speech, and it's probably going to be very related to current events. But that's because that's the type of people who want to go to that synagogue. It depends on the synagogue.
I know. USC, is that University of Southern California?
Yeah,
Is that the college you used to go to?
I went there for undergrad and for graduate school.
Did you go to for law school?
Yep,
Yeah. Too bad. Too bad you didn't seem to because to my understanding you didn't get your JD, right?
correct.
Which is there a reason? Was it just too much? Was the work too stressful?
No, it wasn't a matter of the work. It was a lot of things.
Okay, because I know there are a lot of Orthodox Jews who go into law. I actually one time saw a clip with some guy interviewing Rabbi Wolpe, and I know I mean he's Rabbi Wolpe, so like what he says about Judaism isn't necessarily the most accurate, but he did say something which, to my understanding, would make sense, which is the reason so many lawyers are Catholic and Jewish as opposed to Protestant is because of the strong legal traditions within those religions.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Orthodox Jews who become lawyers. Yeah. Rabbi Breitowitz is actually, he taught law school he was a lawyer, and Rabbi Wein was also a lawyer for a while. Yeah,
Yeah,
lots of,
it seems like, yeah. The only thing I could think of halakhically with being a lawyer would be, is there any problems with being a lawyer for courts that don't follow the Noahide laws?
what does that even mean?
Well, so to my understanding, like the Noahide laws basically say that non-Jews are supposed to establish courts of justice, which are supposed to enforce the six Noahide laws, and then the seventh is to establish courts of justice. If the court does not enforce the other six laws, does that mean that the court is not kosher to be
I
an
don't
attorney?
know of any court that has ever been established that doesn't um, enforce the Noahide laws.
Okay,
Like
so
I can't even imagine how a court would be established, like in a normal society that doesn't, you know, for example, punish murder.
well, there is I mean, there's like prohibitions of sexual immorality which courts don't enforce, but like,
Well, hold on. So your your interpretation seems to be that the court has to simultaneously, like, that's not the idea. We're talking about a court that we're talking about having courts which um, deliver justice, and how that court delivers justice, etc., like, is up to the court. The courts have a, like, it's up to them how they um, enforce the laws.
okay, so the court does not have to enforce something like don't eat like the court doesn't have to go out of its way to prosecute people who eat like flesh off of a living animal in order to be kosher.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, like a court which administers justice is a court which administers justice.
Okay. Yeah, then
Yeah,
I must have been mistaken. Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
Um anything else? Um Studio chat, two people. Is I'm surprised no one else has come on except for RJ and Rabbi Mullet. I know why Hezi doesn't come on, but Cal W,
Why do you think Hazy doesn't come on?
because it's late.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. right now. Like,
So of
yeah,
course Hezi doesn't come on. He doesn't want to wake his kids, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
But
I
I
was
don't know why
wondering
Cal.
what you were. Yeah, okay.
I wonder why Cal W doesn't come on.
Good question. I've been trying to get Colonimus to come on for a while.
Is Kalanimus? I didn't know that was even a name.
Colonimus is actually a very popular Jewish name in Orthodox circles.
Okay. Yeah, and to my if my memory serves me correctly, didn't you say that he was a Satmar Chesed, but he's allowed to use technology in his community?
I mean, all Satmar Hasidim use technology. The question is for what, when, how, why, and he obviously uses it a lot more broadly than most. Although, I mean, Satmar, it depends, but yeah, I don't think most people in Williamsburg are in Kiryas Yol are watching YouTube
Yeah.
videos on. Well, I guess some of them would be watching. Sure, like yeah, actually, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specifics of the halacha around it, but to my understanding, you're allowed to have a phone and watch content, but does there have to be like a kosher filter?
there has to be. Everybody agrees that there has to be some sort of filter to make sure that you're not getting things which aren't kosher. But what, how, and what, and where, and what exactly that means, there's various opinions on. Like there is
Yeah.
on everything in Judaism.
You know, it would be interesting to see if um an Orthodox, like an actual Orthodox rabbi, would end up on like one of the popular podcasts, um, one of the podcast spheres, because Judaism is not very accurately represented online. So if on Lex Fridman or Joe Rogan or whatever, there was, you know, someone like at least a Rabbi Friedman, if not like a Rabbi Jacobson, I think that would arguably be a positive thing.
There have been, I mean, there is content available for people who want it.
I understand, but I mean specifically on like a podcast, such that it might spark interest among the audience.
Yeah, but like how many of those podcasts have somebody like Bishop Barron on, despite the fact that he represents a church of 1 billion people, as opposed to, you know, all kinds of clowns saying all kinds of weird stuff about Christianity.
Yeah, well, but Bishop Barron was on he was on Lex Fridman's podcast, which is well, it's not as big as Joe Rogan's, but it's got a decent sized audience.
Yeah, I mean that's better than nothing, but there's 1 billion Catholics in the world and 2 million, 3 million Orthodox Jews.
Yeah. You said did you say Bishop Barron is a bishop in a community of a billion?
Yep.
Oh, because there's a billion Catholics. Okay. Um, well, does a bishop not have his own church? Like, how many people are in his church?
Well, I mean, he is the archbishop in his diocese. Yeah, but like he represents the Catholic Church.
Okay. Well, would you say any clergy member of the Catholic Church represents the Catholic Church?
Well, a bishop certainly does.
Okay. Because like, of course, I would say Father Eric is a faithful Roman Catholic, but like the phrase represents the Catholic Church might be a little bit broad to say.
No, I mean, I think in a very real sense, he does represent the Catholic Church. I mean, even if they were to have a Catholic priest, an actual Catholic priest on, like, that's a lot better than what they do. But a bishop, I mean, he's actually an archbishop. So
Yeah. Yeah. What diocese is he again?
Winona something?
Okay. So I'd imagine that's
Winona Rochester.
is that like several
Oh,
dozen
he's
thousand
not an
people?
archbishop, he's a bishop. What?
Is that like a dozen thousand people?
Winona Rochester has 135,000 Catholics about, and 585,000 people.
It's a lot of Catholics.
135,000, yeah, that's, yeah, it's bigger than a lot of Orthodox Jewish communities.
Yeah, it's probably bigger than most Orthodox Jewish communities.
Yeah, so he's a suffragan of the Archdiocese of St. Paul in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Yeah, to my understanding, most, I mean, obviously Orthodox, it depends on the, like, place you go, but most Orthodox Jewish communities are not, not that big. What is, like, do you know what the, like, average for an Orthodox Jewish community would be in terms of population size?
It depends what you mean. Like, how are you making the whatchamacallits for it?
Are
Let's
you
see.
asking, like, what the boundaries would be?
Yeah, like what are you calling an Orthodox Jewish community?
Well, so basically, a community of Orthodox Jews who send each other to similar shuls, basically. Who so like it would probably be like max 3 shuls, right? But like the type of community you could go shul hopping in, basically, and they have shop at like similar kosher markets and have like an
A
eruv.
community like that will have 50 to 100 different synagogues.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like in Los Angeles, within within a mile of Pico Robertson, there must be at least 50 synagogues.
okay, so that would be like what, 500 people?
No,
No.
it's closer to. I mean, how many Orthodox Jews live in Pico Robertson? Probably around 100,000.
Okay, 100,000 Jews. So a lot
Yeah.
of Jews. I mean, so your average synagogue has what? How many um, Jews?
Well, average Orthodox synagogue probably has like 30 to 50 adult males praying there, but that's the adult males. I mean, women oftentimes don't come to synagogue at all, and the children don't get counted. So, like, those 30 to 50 men represent um, several hundred family members.
Okay,
Yeah.
so several hundred Jews for your average Orthodox synagogue.
Yeah. Okay. It is 4 o'clock here. I am going to shut down the stream. Um, good night, people.
Good night.
I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry,
You are
Reverend. Thank
correct.
you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes
There's a
that devil's
proverb.
advocate thing too
Isn't there
far.
a proverb that says something like, "Don't answer a fool according to his folly"?
But there's a proverb that says, answer a fool according to his folly.
There is.
Exactly right. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank
It was
you,
good
Reverend.
to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The